Hello everyone, so we had the brand new start of the season, and with that comes a brand new card, Phoenix Force. Phoenix Force is an interesting one. At 5 cost, it has 6 power and the on reveal ability of revive one of your destroyed cards and merge with it. This card can move each turn, and so that means it's going to be pretty good synergy with cards that typically want to be moved. So things like Multiple Man, Human Torch, Dagger to a degree are all going to be fantastic with the Phoenix Force. This also means that it has some pretty cool synergy in ramp decks. You can use this after using an Arnim Zola onto a target to give yourself another one of whatever it was that you destroyed. So if it's a Black Panther, you're going to resummon that Black Panther with the Phoenix Force, and you can use this to have multiple lines so that you're not just going tall into 2 locations, and so you'll also be impacting all 3. So if they do have a Shang-Chi, it is much less likely to completely derail your game plan. And it's that combo consistency, so if you don't have the perfect Black Panther into Arnim Zola into Odin line, you can have the Phoenix Force as that backup play to be able to offer more power on the board. Because when Phoenix Force revives its target, it will re-trigger those on reveals. And so there are some really cool ways that you can utilize this. A lot of them do feel pretty gimmicky. I've tested several of the moved ones. When those pop, they absolutely pop. So you can have like an 80 power Taskmaster pretty easily if you have the right pieces, but that is the biggest emphasis, is when you have those pieces. It is pretty inconsistent how often you get all of the pieces that you need. I think it will be a fun deck to try out, but I don't know that that is like going to be the staple home for Phoenix Force. The one that I was using and having some decent success with was a ramp deck, something that used Electro into a Black Panther, Arnim Zola, and then having the Phoenix Force as that consistency piece to be able to offer multiple ways to revive some cool cards. And that one I don't think is the perfect home. Phoenix Force is a tricky one to build around. It is entirely different. It's very high energy. It's very high energy cost, so you're not able to slot it into as many decks. You have to really build around it. And when it doesn't happen, making sure that you have ways to still win built in can be difficult. And so instead of doing just one solid showcasing, I'm going to do 3 different builds. One that is a very greedy all-in Phoenix Force. If you get it, you are probably going to win as long as they don't have a way to counter it. If you don't, you're going to have to back out and retreat. There's no backup play lines, essentially. One that is a little bit more hybrid, so it's a movement deck. I believe Binks was running it. I grabbed it off of Untapped. It has some more mid-range game plans. It does fairly well. It can beat some like Storm lockdowns, Spider-Man lockdowns, and it has the backup play of the Heimdall in case you don't get that perfect Phoenix Force setup. And then the last one is the Electro ramp deck. You could also use this in like a destroy deck with like Nimrods, but I haven't quite wrapped my head around how good or where that would find its place in that style of deck. So the third one that I'm going to be showcasing is an Electro ramp style deck. And that is the one that feels like it is the least reliant on always having Phoenix Force. Sometimes Phoenix Force is going to be fantastic for you to grab, but it's not a necessity every single game. Let me know what decks you're trying out with Phoenix Force in the comment section down below. I'm still going to be brewing after this video goes up, but I think Phoenix Force is one that's going to take some time to cook to find the perfect home and the perfect shell. And so we're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, next up we have Lance. Actually, first up we have Lance. The first location is Shuri's lab. So if we can draw into Human Torch, Multiple Man, Phoenix Force, we don't have any of them so far, unfortunately. If we can draw into any of those pieces, we are going to be good. We're going to be sitting in a good spot here. So the Raft, we're not going to be able to compete for that. We do get the Phoenix Force, and so we have a way to destroy it. We just need to get that card. And so either one, I don't care which one. We don't care which one. Just one that we want to be able to move. And this is, okay, that's beautiful. This has been a little bit more gimmicky than what I would have anticipated. Let's go Phoenix Force and leave it as is. I'm not going to snap into it because I do not want Lance to leave. This is the first time I've gotten this where I can actually set it up. And so I'm thinking we will shift decks. but I think this is going to be a really cool high roll opportunity. And so that is what we are focusing on. Let's go ahead and Venom. We're going to destroy the Human Torch. Next turn, we bring it right back. We move it once. If Iron Fist had not been hit here, we could actually use Iron Fist into the Human Torch next turn, which would have been massive because that would be a free movement. So it would double already. And then we would move it again. It would double again. So it'd end up being like 40 power or something ridiculous. But we are going to be able to play it into Shuri's lab, which is going to double it. We'll move it. We have the Phoenix. The Taskmaster. So this is going to be a huge, huge Phoenix force. We just need them to stay. And so I'm not going to snap into it. Right now, we don't care about rank. We care about seeing this animation play out. And so the Phoenix force is going to come down. And it is one of those cards that has a pretty sick like movement animation. So like Vision, Human Torch, Cyclops. That just gets you distracted. Iron Lad has a pretty good one as well. And I haven't heard that one talked about as much. Let's go ahead and play the let's go ahead and play the Phoenix Force into Shuri's lab. If they have the Killmonger, we'll die a little inside, but we are going to see this thing come down. And so that is going to be the big thing, the big piece of today, is that we are going to see Phoenix Force initiate. And so they do flood here. The Kitty Pride again, massive. Being able to double that every single turn is huge. Okay, so the Iceman comes down. It does hit Ghost Spider. That's fine. All we're doing next turn is Taskmaster. And so Phoenix Force is going to merge with the Human Torch, and then it is going to double up. And so that is an immediate 20 power Human Torch. That is now going to be 40 and is now going to be 80. Let's go ahead and lock that in. The animation really wasn't as, I don't know. It was a cool animation, but something like Snow Guard that is so difficult to use has such a beautiful animation. And this one's a season pass card. It looked cool, but then you of course merge into the Human Torch, so you keep your cost. So a Killmonger is definitely a hard counter here unless you have armor down. All right, thank you, Lance. Oh, the Iron Man. Okay, the Iron Man is big, but we move the Human Torch. That is going to be a massive 40 power. We Taskmaster, double it. That 40 is then going to turn into 80, which is insanity. And we're able to pull this one home. Super brittle combo. Very, very satisfying when you're able to pull it off. All right, next up we have Chloe. And the Altar of Death is actually very, very interesting now. So with Phoenix Force, if we can ever find a deck that it fits into well. So I was trying to figure out a way to make like a Silver Surfer build work. Because when Phoenix Force revives, he will revive that 3-cost card. Nothing has come of it yet, but it's a possibility. And I think there's some really cool ways to potentially do it. So let's Iron Fist into maybe Dagger next turn. We do have the multiple man, but I don't want to blow it up just yet because we don't have a way to resummon it. We don't have the Phoenix Force, so we want to play this one as if we're not going to be able to utilize that until we can. And so let's go ahead and do the Dagger. She will move over into the Bifrost. If we can get Phoenix Force, then that's going to be fantastic. If not, it is what it is. So we are going against a control deck, and they're running a high evolutionary control. I can tell from their avatar on the top right. Being on the PC client. Now the Sunspot is big. We could yank the Dagger over into Monster Island. We could do a multiple man. We do have Heimdall to shift on turn 6, which is going to be, I think, our saving grace. Right now we don't have anything that merits a resummon. And so we don't really want to lean into, I guess we can, into the Human Torch because they only have the 1-cost cards. There is the Human Torch. It is a touch too late, kind of, or is it? So this would give us... Oh, I guess the Carnage would be kind of scary. Next turn we'll have 6. This would be 7, 8, 9, 10. So we would be 1 off of doing all of these combinations. So in that case, we don't really do anything this turn. We'll do Human Torch just for the giggles. Ooh, they could play Professor X? No, they play a wave. All right. Ooh, so they do play a wave. Wait. No, we can't resummon it anywhere. Well, I guess we could do something like this and this. That's not bad. They may have just given us our potential out with that wave. So now we can do both of our big cards. We can do Phoenix Force that will revive the... Oh, let's do it. It's going to revive that Human Torch, and then we are going to Heimdall shift it from the Altar of Death. We're going to push it over into the flooded location. The Multiple Man and Iron Fist will be able to reach into the Altar of Death, which may actually not be enough if they have a way to... I mean, maybe they have a Doctor Doom and an Evolved Hulk. Maybe that's what they're going with here. If so, then we can beat it. If it's a... Nope, Shang-Chi. Okay. Oh, my friend, that is not going to be enough. Our 42 power near flooded location has other plans. And so we will go ahead and gladly take the 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Man. Maybe. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, and they emote back. We found a human, you guys. I know that it's not super exciting on your end, but I haven't played ladder in a while, and we are facing a lot of bots here. Central Park makes a Phoenix Force resummon very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. We could do the Iron Fist into Multiple Man, but the 3 power, we don't necessarily want to spread that around the board. So they go Bast and Iron Fist here. Was that the Bast play for him? Nowhere. Wow. Nowhere is wild. We can't even destroy the Multiple Man anymore. I mean, we could do this. That's not huge. I'm going to do it anyways. We're going to consume this lane and then bounce over to the left. This location is just unfortunate. They did play the Iron Fist, so this could be Human Torch and then bounce over. Nope, it's Dagger, and it's not going to get any buff because we cleared out that middle lane. Unfortunate, my friend. Now, we could move the Carnage back. Not that we get any bonus for moving it around the board, but just for giggles. We could also play Ghost Spider into nowhere, but this one is just really unfortunate. And so they Ghost Spider... Oh, we dodge it. The Ghost Spider hits this, or the Dagger hits this squirrel, but we moved our Carnage out just in time. Oy. All right. Wind it up a little bit, and then we'll drop it into, I don't know. We'll drop it into Hellfire Club. Why not? Why not drop it into Hellfire Club? Phoenix Force could be Iron Fist, or it could hit the squirrel. So that is one buff squirrel we got. That is a 7-power squirrel ready for action. So we could do... The nowhere location is theirs. They have that one locked. Yeah. Heimdall shift here. Doesn't really do much good for us. Actually, 7 power... I forgot the Phoenix Force could move. 11. Could potentially win this location if we think they're not going to flood. Or we can do this and we'll push it over. That's what we're going to do. I don't know. I don't know if it wins or not. Not an ideal hand. Central Park is really rough when you're wanting to resummon cards. One of those things. This is going to be a very combo-driven card or deck, and I don't know where the ultimate best home for it is. I think it's going to take some time to figure out where that best place is, because right now, I don't know. Heimdall will shift our cards over to the left. Is it enough? Depending on where the Real Mysterio is at. Actually, no, we should just have them, right? Real Mysterio in the left lane, we do come out on top against the bounce deck, which definitely didn't get their high roll of a draw. We will take the wins where we can, but this one does showcase Central Park. Certain locations are just going to be really tough for a deck that focuses heavily around Phoenix Force. That is why this one is built somewhat into that middle range where we can get some power and some value on the board outside of the Phoenix Force. That is just where our high roll lies. And so we're going to go ahead and take the 2 cubes. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Chloe. Kamar Taj comes down. So there is a pretty cool line with Iron Fist if we can make it happen. Using Iron Fist at the end of turn 4 along with like the Venom Destruction, which doesn't look like that's going to happen, gives us a phenomenal way to just immediately spread Phoenix Force across the board. But it doesn't look like that is going to happen unless we get Carnage and we need our other cards. It doesn't look likely. Ooh, there is the Phoenix Force though. Look at that beautiful, beautiful card. We have the Hulkbuster. We have the Phoenix Force now. As long as they don't redrop an Iceman, as long as they don't Spider Ham us, which is a very real possibility. If we're looking at climbing, if we're looking at playing, Spider Ham is going to be a very, very real possibility that we have to accept. Phoenix Force being as high as she is, it's going to be it could hit Heimdall if we have it, but we don't have Heimdall in our hand just yet. Merging the multiple man, we can use Ghost Spider to move it, or on this turn we can use our Venom. So had their Iceman not hit our Venom, we could have done both Venom plus Iron Fist. Then next turn when we dropped Phoenix Force, it would have bounced twice, assuming that we could play here. It would bounce twice, which would be beautiful. But unfortunately, we cannot. Let's go ahead and drop the Venom. We are hoping for no Spider Ham here. And we do get the Destruction off. That's going to be a 10 power Venom. Not necessarily what we want to see. But we do get Taskmaster, which is also pretty big. Let's go ahead and Phoenix Force into Camartage. We can then move it over into Kiln as a way to win that location, because it's going to be like a 15 power play. Now, they do have potentially an Iron Man. Iron Man has become very common in bounce decks. And honestly, we haven't seen a lot of their good cards thus far. So the Kitty Pryde, the Spider Ham, the Beast, the Falcon, none of those cards we've seen just yet. There is the Iron Man. Speaking of the devil, the Iron Man coming into play. And that will make their high roll a lot higher. Is it unbeatable? No, I don't think so. We do multiple man move. We do this. So this is the last card we played. We move it here. We do Ghost Spider to yank it here. We win this lane. This lane gets a substantial bump in the process. So I almost want to just leave Dagger here. But if they do much power here, they won't have much here. And so maybe the Dagger will save us. Plus the 13 power. This is what we're going to stick to. We're going to stick to our guns. They are in this one to win it so far. I would have expected a Hit Monkey at some point. But we're going to move our multiple man over into Kiln. We're going to yank it over into Kunlun, making it 15. The one that returns to Kiln is 15 power. Our Dagger is going to bounce over. You get a substantial amount of power all across the board. The 21, the 28, and the 15. Shang-Chi comes down. That is a big play. But with our Dagger hitting that mark, we are still higher than that in the Camartage location. We're higher than that in Kiln. We're higher than that in Kunlun. We do secure the 4-cube win against the Iron Man bounce, which is incredibly strong. But if it doesn't have the cards that help elevate it early, so a Hit Monkey Flood could have definitely overcame this lane, or honestly this one if it had a little bit more reach, or maybe they didn't go with the Shang-Chi. But having the 3 multiple men across the board, the big Venom, it was a solid finisher. We will go ahead and take the 4 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Melon. The first location is Mojo World. We do get Storm. We also have Electro. And we're going to skip here. We will use Storm on turn 3. If we get a Destruction or a way to destroy a card, fantastic. Phoenix Force is going to be great. If not, it is, honestly, it is what it is. And so let's go with the Storm. being able to go wide, being able to maneuver a card with the Phoenix Force after the fact is so phenomenal. And it looks like Melon is probably going with a Phoenix Force build as well. But for me, and I know a lot of people were theory crafting that Negasonic would be phenomenal with Phoenix Force. I think it makes it less consistent. So they play a card, their follow-up card is going to be played into Negasonic's lane. That becomes a 50-50 that Phoenix Force pulls what it needs to pull, right? I imagine, anyways. And so we're going to do Jubilee into the flooded lane, see what it pulls. It's an Arnhem Zola into the Jubilee. I was kind of wishing it would hit the storm and just storm all of the locations. And so we are going to be digging deep into our deck here. We do get Venom that's going to destroy the Jubilee, and so we can use Phoenix Force on 5 to dig even deeper into that deck, which is so silly, kind of absurd, but we will absolutely take it. And so between Wave or Black Panther here, and so either one is going to be perfectly fine. We can do that. We can, but this is going to help us cap out this left lane. No, rude friend. We don't even get to revive with Phoenix Force. Like, that was going to be beautiful. The Jubilee was going to come in just heavy, and that's unfortunate. We will take the 2 cubes. Arnhem Zola allowing us to dig through our entire deck, which is part of why I like Jubilee in ramp decks from time to time. Let's go ahead and take the 2 cubes. We will jump over into the next one. All right. First up, we have Kachi Mangudi. First up, we have Kachi. The first location is Murder World. We could use that as a free way to destroy a wave. We could wave. We could Phoenix Force on turn 4. We could use Odin to re-trigger it. It's not terrible. Lamentus is an interesting one. What if we... So how do we want to navigate this now? We have no idea what kind of deck they're running. But we do have the Phoenix Force. We could ramp. I mean, the Arnhem Zola line is better. It's always just a little bit better. Wait, they Daredevil into Murder World? What? All right. We are going to Electro into Murder World. No, we are not. We don't want Electro to get destroyed. Because next turn we will Black Panther. We will Arnhem Zola that Black Panther. We could Odin, or we could Phoenix Force, depending on if we're feeling cheeky or what that we think the opponent's going to do. So it gives us the kind of that flexible play line of being able to really dig very deep into one location, or stack really tall into 2 locations, or to be able to spread it a little bit wider instead. They go with a wave. Daredevil wave. Are they going Galactus? Don't go Galactus on us. They might go Galactus on us. I'm going to play the Black Panther into Murder World. I assume that with them playing Daredevil over there, for some reason, I was thinking they would go with it. No, they just go Jubilee instead. Interesting. This has to be a bot, right? Turn 5, we hit it with an Arnhem Zola. From there, we can decide, do we want to use Phoenix Force to revive that Black Panther in Murder World, which I think we do. Otherwise, we're just stacking really tall. We're very susceptible to a Shang-Chi. I think we go Phoenix Force here. Phoenix Force is going to... Oh, nobody wants us to use the Phoenix Force. We'll get there, guys. Not from lack of trying. All right. Next up, we have G-Man. The first location is the hub. And so with a name like G-Man, we're going to be looking for a potential Galactus. Okay. Their Spider Ham comes down. It does hit our Doctor Doom, not the Odin. It could have been better, could have been worse. Superflow gives us some pretty cool interactions if we can get a way to destroy. So the Black Panther into like an Arnhem Zola, Black Panther into an Odin is huge in one lane. Let's go ahead and go Electro. With the Spider Ham, ooh, they go Lockjaw into the Superflow. G-Man, what are you cooking? because that is a spicy cook. Maybe they have something. Oh wow, all of these cards are wild. Maybe they have something like a Professor X that they're going to lean in on in the Superflow. But with Electro now, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate now that we went Electro with the Elysium, with the Superflow bonus. We just are going to have so much extra. So they just do high Evo with all of this extra. What is G-Man doing? Is G-Man okay? I'm a little concerned for G-Man. So we could do Jubilee. If it hits Arnim Zola, there's a chance that it hits Black Panther here and here. The chance that it does Jubilee here and here. And then Phoenix Force could be a third Jubilee. And so that's, if it pulls Arnim Zola, it could pull Storm, which is also pretty decent for us. Not the best, but not the worst either. They do go Jubilee into the Superflow, into Odin to completely cap out that Superflow location. Magneto, wow, that pulls our entire gambit of cards. Goodness. And then flip finally into the Wasp. Wow, 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 wow. We can only go one card. So Venom would only be like 12 power here, and I don't think that's going to be enough to win it. I do kind of want to try. This is going to allow us to do Phoenix Force here, and we can overcome this lane. If we can overcome this one, we can overcome anywhere. That's if they don't fight for this location. The odds of that are pretty low, honestly. I think we probably lose this one. We should back out. Oh, they use Kang. Interesting, G-Man. Running a Kang. Running a Kang in this economy. Okay. So they snapped into the Kang play. I'm curious what they end up going with. Do we ever just slap an Odin on it? We haven't destroyed any cards though, so winning this lane becomes really difficult. We're just gonna slap a Venom on it. They didn't snap into it, so we'll see. Thor is beatable if they don't get their Mjolnir right away, which they probably have Chavez. I doubt they get their Mjolnir. Dr. Doom, they have a Doom, right? Ooh, wait. If they have a Doom and they're gonna lean on that 4 power Doom bot, it's going to bring them to 12. We top deck Jeff, which is so beautiful. This is probably the best I could have asked for. Phoenix Force is going to revive the Black Panther. That is going to be 16 plus the 6. So it'll be 24. We can win this lane. We can win this lane. And we just merrily sail the rest of the way home. No. That's from the hub. That's why they were playing so just... They rotate... We almost lost to an Agatha. But, to be fair, pretty solid. This was a pretty solid line. To be fair. Like, I could have seen them normally playing... Yeah, I'm shocked by the Agatha as well. I'm sorry, G-Man. We do get the Black Panther to resummon with the Phoenix Force, giving us 22 power in this location. That is right. 16 plus 16 plus 6 is only 22. Not 24. So it's the 22 power, not the 24. My bad. But still, for a 5 cost, resummoning this with the decent sized Venom is pretty solid. We are going to go ahead and end the video after that one, almost losing to an Agatha. Just some solid power plays that they had. We are going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. What are you guys utilizing with Phoenix Force that you're enjoying? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.